Hello and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. I've been very busy in between this episode and the last one, running a whole bunch of cargo in the C-130, as well as setting up a little bit of infrastructure. As you can see, I have this little platform here. As we fly on down to it with our spectator camera, we can see this conveyor, which was only really used prior to this to put the pipeline on it to send resources to the hydrogen base during its construction. We have extended it with a conveyor tube all the way over to the beach here and set up both a rover dock, another build and repair, and a projector for small grid, which means we can use this to print off new planes and rovers, which I'm very excited because I have preloaded in here ready to go a cargo rover that is going to be our new building rover. So I've got some projects, big ones, primarily being right now the oil refinery. This is going to take a lot of work, so what I'm going to need to do is either pipeline resources over here, or load them into that rover, drive the rover over here, and then park the rover and use the rover's built-in building repairs to make it. The other thing this rover could do is, if I ever needed to set up a new bunker, just drive to the spot where I want to plunk down the bunker, set up a projector and a wind turbine to get the projector functioning, and then just project the bunker on the side of that, and then just let it build. It'd be so easy. And I could literally just build a bunker anywhere. So that is why we are going to make a little repair and building rover today. So that's we're gonna get that started in a moment. But we do have some tragic news. There was a little bit of damage done to the C-130, as you can see here. I flew a little bit too close to an assert base, and the assert base decided to bite me. I managed to get away. I did not die, which is a very good thing. So I'm gonna have to do some repairs here. More than likely, just do a few armor repositionings. And then I do have an old blueprint of the C-130 that I should be able to put onto a projector and then overlay on top of this one. And then it should work. And I'll be able to have this all automatically built back up. Because I believe I'm missing, yes, there's normally two lines of gyroscopes there. Where on this side, that whole line of gyroscopes is gone, and that is not a good thing. So we'll have to get that built up. But our primary goals of this episode is to get the rover here built, which we'll do that in a moment, and then get the C-130 repaired, and then test out our rover. Maybe build a bunker somewhere, or work on the oil refinery. So I think the first thing you're going to do is we're going to turn off the building repairs, because we don't want them on yet. Main thing being is that this design is built for base space engineers, vanilla, which does not translate well to industrial overhaul. This has a bunch of stuff on it that I don't really have access to yet, such as lithium batteries. And I believe somewhere deep in here, yeah, right back here, it has a reactor on it, which I don't have any uranium. So why do I even have a reactor? This is obviously for this rover in the real world, like in the actual vanilla game, that you could just, oh, I need to jumpstart the rover, I'll throw in a tiny bit of uranium into the reactor to get it plugged back into a base so that I can get the batteries recharged. But that doesn't work here, so we're going to have to figure that out ourselves. What I think we're going to do is we're going to go for some plate. And we're going to grab some aluminum and some steel. And we should be able to get everything all set up. Is if I build out enough, I'll be able to build, at least start the cargo containers. And that means that I can start that. And we can start placing other blocks. Alright. So, the couple changes we need to do is, one, we will just go into here, and where there is that reactor, we'll just cover that up. It doesn't exist now. Also, for batteries, we're going to have to make them acid batteries, as we do not have the lithium to make them the off that the lift gizmo. We'll put the acid batteries in here instead of the lithium ion because we simply do not have the ability to do that. As well as this is going to be our build and repair thing, so we are going to set up build and repairs. And in the original design, I had large cargo container, and then frame, then large cargo container. And the reason for the double frame is so that I have this wheel here being nicely even and symmetrical down the center. But this frame is in the exact same size as a build and repair. So I can just go boop, boop, in build and repairs in that section. Then large cargo. And batteries off of that will then, again, be acid instead of lithium ion. The rest of it, I believe I want to swap out the spotlights to high-powered spotlights instead of normal ones, so this thing's got some better view at night. And we also have searchlights, which I could add to this thing, though I don't know if I need to do that yet, because, you know, those might look kind of nice. Put some searchlights on the side like that. And other things, maybe I want to put some turrets on it. But for now, I think I can unleash the build and repairs on this thing. Let's turn everything on. These build and repairs will be like that. See, this is not going to be for the C-130. These are going to be for the, let's call it Rover right now. Oh god, they're loud. Ah! There we go. We are building up quite fast here. Wow. I was just checking to see if I had like creative mode on or something like that. But no, we just got all the resources available. And these blocks are being built super fast. Only thing we're missing here is some synthetic fabrics. I wonder if we can make those. I'll have to look into that. But the rest of it is flying together quite quickly. Excellent. Let's see. I think I need to make, oh, I got some computers. That's all good. I should have plenty of resources. Excellent. In which case, I can go into here, and I just need to shape this armor a little bit before I unleash the blueprint on this thing. As this has changed a little bit. Like, for example, I lower these wheels down to the bottom instead of being one up, just to make landing a little bit better. And as such, the entire sort of lower section of this plane has changed in terms of how this forms into the hull. So if I put this back as a projection now, it probably wouldn't line up nicely. So I should at least repair that section. The rest of it should work fine. Alright, so let's give that a go. Unfortunately, though, we're going to have to turn off our build and repairs, because you never want to be partway through doing a design, and then like you have your build and repairs on, you put a projector on, but the projector's in the wrong spot, and you're like, oh god, no, I need to have that in the right spot, and then all of a sudden it's just being built, and you're like, god, and you can't stop it. It's because it's too late. And that's essentially what's going on. So I want to be able to avoid that. But we should be able to get some copper wires, right? What are you doing, wire drawer? Make me some copper wires already. Come on. Thank you. And with that projector being built, we should be able to jump into the seat here, get out our spectator camera, and let's take a look at this projector. So it is the unnamed one here, so this will be for the C-130. Blueprints will be my C-130 Hercules. And we'll keep the projection. I want to pull it back until it's aligned. That looks good. And then pull it to the side until it's aligned. Excellent. 3,500 built out of 4,000. And I can put my build and repairs back on. And what I should see is all the little holes in the walls and such should all start getting filled back in. All these little gaps are excellent. Excellent. Although some of the little ones here, like this is the new space, and you can see that there's the old spots for the wheels and such where they used to be. So I'll have to take another blueprint of this after I get it repaired, so I have an up-to-date one. So I'm not trying to rebuild it back to an old standard here. That goes there. That goes there. And other than that, the rest of this chunk here, like you see, I actually moved this portion of the this sort of shoulder of the plane back a little bit to better match into the wing and match up to what the other rear side was doing. You know, just little changes like that. And of course, all of the gasoline engines are wanting to be replaced with hydrogen engines, because that's the original design. And the door is completely different. But I do need to do repairs to this door, don't I? If I don't, I'm not mistaken, I need to replace this hinge part here. Yeah. And I need to reattach this door. There we go. Door is repaired. And with a blast door block, log this down. We good. Okay, door's done. And close it up. And all the other little bits are getting put back together. Although a few bits like plates and stuff won't. But I can get those manually after the main repairs are done. My priority is just getting all of those gyroscopes back into place, because they are going to be very, very needed. Other than that, these are working along nicely. Batteries need acid cells, which I wonder if we're making enough of. This is the assemblers. Oh god, the assemblers are full. They're all stuffed with iron. That's why we're having issues. It's probably screaming to make... Yeah, it wants to make acid power cells. It just can't, because it was all stuffed up. That's no good. Very good. Excellent. So those should be building up here. We do have 1, 2 of the batteries done. 3. And now this one is getting its last remaining cells. Excellent. Other than that, we can... Don't I have some steel plate on me? I do. Okay. I can help lay out some of this. Get them being built. And oh, finally! I'm gonna have a decent Rover. Thinking back at the the truck that had the cargo crate on it, like the looks like one of those steel crates you put on a boat. This is actually gonna have cargo capacity that's decent and works. And I'll be able to drive out, build stuff, or even set these build and repairs to grind. And then do stuff like drive out to this crashed shark bait, a boat over here that has decided to beach itself. If I headed over here and painted this all the proper grind color, I could salvage this boat, grind down all of its goodies, and then take them all back to base. Alternatively, I can do that after I blow up that assert base. But I'm thinking that's going to be next episode. I have been working a fair amount off camera in just redesigning planes and ships and stuff, as partly one of the reasons why I only make an episode every so often. Like, for example, I've rebuilt the Warthog to actually have the correct burr gun. And that is with the 30mm. With the 30mm rotary cannon. This thing is amazing. And eats 30mm ammo like crazy. Like, absolutely nuts how fast this shoots through rotor, like their 30mm ammo. However, it's glorious. And so, I put it on the bottom of the A10. And it actually now sounds and looks and flies like an A10. So I'm thinking, oh, we want to build that pretty soon. I'm almost done the design, as in I have the main shape of it, and I've locked that in. All I need to do now is just do the finer touches, like put the programables back on and reset all the commands and stuff like that in the cockpit. But that will be very, very soon. In the meantime, once we get this thing up and running here in a minute. What is that? Oh, just transport courier. I'm good. We do have bigger and badder threats spawning recently. We've had several assert attacks, and while the bunkers are holding, they're doing their job. I want something more mobile. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have to make a anti-air rover or tank of some kind. So it'll be... Oh, I wonder if I can make it out of composite plate. Because this stuff's even more durable. I don't know if we can make it yet. That's a very good question. Let's go see. Is it still at a plate stamp? I'll get a production... Plate stamp. Composite plate. Needs depleted uranium. Can't go there. Okay. So I'm stuck with armored plate. With steel and titanium for heavy armor. So some heavy armor turret laden rover that is either coated in 30mm autocannons, because I'm really enjoying the 30mm caliber, and I think it is the best caliber for anti-aircraft. The regular vanilla stuff of like autocannons and such, it says maximum range 800, but that's vanilla. This is then updated by Weapon Core. Its AI aiming radius is actually 600 in this update, which is very annoying. So it would either be Gatling turrets or 30mm autocannons. Nope. Falling off. Or maybe I could have the 30mm rotary or the 30mm autocannons on a like a turret, like an AI controlled turret using the custom turret blocks. Those sound awesome. But other than that, I think that is what I want to do next. Because a lot of these stuff you don't have on small grid. Like the 203mm gun turret. Obviously that's too big. But there's some turrets, I don't think they're in here, but there's some turrets you can get that like are essentially like a conveyor block with a gun on top, so it's a lot easier to just like put that into your design. But I'll figure it out. But can you just imagine like a gun turret on top of this thing with this 30mm rotary, and it would just be like it would be glorious. That's all I can say about it. Alright, industrial cockpit. We are powering up. The acid batteries on this grid are recharging. We're actually fairly close to fully charged here, as we're getting full current input. Excellent. I'm just going to cut it off because we got tons of power, so I might as well. And nothing keeps its projection, which is fine. There's something unbuilt here. Oh, the projector itself. We'll have to figure out what's incomplete about that. But for now, these will be on auto. And we can recompile our driver assist script. Wait for that to kick in. And we're good. We're driving away. Excellent. Cut those off our tail. And we should be good to go and park up and grab some resources. So if I come around here, geez, don't fall off the edge. That would be the fun thing. First use for this thing is just falling off the edge and exploding. We'll connect to the base. We'll be able to take a look at the inventory of this ship, as well as some steel plate. And we should be able to just pump this thing absolutely chock-a-block full. Thousands of steel plate. Tell the plate stamps here to make a... No, it's titanium. Make another few thousand. Unlock. And the driver assist script will realize we're way heavier now and give us some more power. And we can drive on over to the oil refinery and start working on it. As we're pulling up on the refinery here, should be able to drive on up the ramp. And the build and repair should kick into action. And start working on putting this thing together. As they have access to the steel plate that we're carrying. And also we want to make this the Builder Rover, which I will get a better name for next time. I just want to make sure that it's named so don't actually delete it or something. Build and repair for the Rover here is good. It's in fly mode, welding only. The area is good. And why are you not working? That is strange. Let's see if I just need to give it a little bit of a kick. I put the resources into that one. Are you going to build it, Mr. Build and Repairs? This is very strange. Maybe the grid just needs a reset? Or the game just needs a reload. And the reload didn't seem to do it either. That is very strange. What am I doing wrong? I have build and repairs. They are only looking at industrial cockpit and the projector repair. Because the industrial cockpit is missing synthetic fabrics. And the projector in there is missing something. I don't know what it is. That is very strange. What if these two build and repairs? Flying mode, though. It needs an advanced computer and 10 synthetic fabrics. Let's see if getting those fixes this issue. Because I really need these build and repairs to build these grids. Or else my entire concept is not going to work of what I wanted this to do. Okay. So, I need synthetic fabrics. Synthetic fabrics, I believe, are woven by polymers in a synthetics factory. Or is that a loom that does that? Something like that. Well, whatever it is, we will plop one down back at the base here and fill it up with those resources and figure out what this needs. Beyond that, it just says it needs an advanced computer, which I don't know why it didn't just do that earlier. There was tons of advanced computers in the grid I was attached to. So, no idea why it just didn't do that. Well, we'll find out. Okay, so we're back down here. Put in that one advanced computer. Don't you need that build repairs? Isn't that what you're calling for? I was trying to build the... Okay, why are you building the C-130 Hercules? You see that the C-130 Hercules needs stuff to be built. Why didn't you see the... Why? Why didn't you see that the oil refinery needed stuff to be built? What is wrong with the oil refinery? I wonder if it's not mine. It's the oil refinery. It doesn't have an owner name. It's coming in as a nobody. That's gotta be why. Heck is this a nobody build? I placed these blocks myself. That is so weird. So that's got to be why it's not working. Okay. I'm going to have to figure out why that's happening. And then I have a synth auto loom. That's what I need. Auto loom. Which I don't know if I have enough space on this grid for this. I mean, I can just do something really cheaty and just stick an auto loom right here. Like, it's whatever. Just add it on. Get it working. Get all these build and repairs are on, right? Oh, but I gotta reset their things. All these build and repairs, I need you to reset your offsets to 0. Because there they go. Now those build and repairs in the boat here can see this and they start building on it. Ah, come on, we can make some copper wires, can't we? Come on, you wire drawers. I know there's a bunch of copper wire in the base over on the beach, and you consider that as part of the same grid now. But you can make some more copper wires. Excellent. And then when this loom is done, I can use the loom to make the synthetic fabrics. So, auto loom, make me some synthetics. And then this thing should go, wait a second, I have synthetics. I should put them into here. Fabric. Give me 10. There we go. And it built it up. Okay, so this grid is done. So there's something wrong with my oil refinery. It's coming in as a nobody for some reason. We gotta go out there and take command and control of it. I think possibly one of the things I should do is build up at least... No, when the wind here. I think I want to put on at least one tiny bit of wind power on the base. Throw all that stuff. Oh. Yeah, we can get it. We're just gonna missing a little bit of copper wire. Don't worry, that stuff will be built here in a second. Come on. Oh, so it's being taken up by that fabricator. Okay. We'll grab the copper wire from the surplus that I have over here. If I take just enough for a wind turbine, I can at least put down a turbine, have some power on that grid. and then maybe use that to take command of the grid, control of it. Or do I need to put on a control seat? I don't know. But we're going to figure that out. Because I want that grid. It should be mine. I placed it for some reason. It's not mine. So, let's climb back up into the parking area. You can do it, Monsieur Rover. And we'll slap down the wind turbine just somewhere, just so this grid has some power. And this is built by me now. Ah, that's what it needed. It just needed me to build something on it. Even though this is all built by Kanajashi, it's because it wasn't, like, finished. Ah, so weird. Stupid grid. Because now if I pop into the F10 menu, and we find the oil refinery, owner name Kanajashi. There we go. But now this little building rover is doing exactly what it needs to do. And it is expelling all of its stored steel plate into building up this station at great speed. So what I think will probably be the process that I do for working on this kind of stuff is figure out what I need, load it all into the building rover, drive out to the location, you know, set up the framework of it, and turn on the building rover and let it do its stuff. And while it's working away, if I take a look at its inventory here, we're going through the steel plate at a good pace, but it is capable of holding over 6,000 steel plate at once, which is a hefty chunk. What I should be able to do is drive this thing to a location, leave it there, then get out, fly away, jump in the C-130, go pick up some more resources, fly back, park the C-130, and then come back and see if this thing is empty on its building. And just do that for hours. But at least we have a new rover, and it is capable of building. We'll get some, oh yeah. Oh, I get some thumbnails right there. That is 100% what you'll be seeing on the thumbnail. Of course, you've probably already seen it when you clicked on the video. But that is a highly functional little rover. And when I'm sitting here, I have 3 days of power, so I have no worries about just plunking this thing down somewhere and just letting it run. And that's excellent. Again, I'll be able to use this for salvage operations as well. I can put the build and repairs onto a like a grind color, for example, and then use that color, paint the enemy grid after I've shot it down, drive this thing around and slurp up some enemy assert corpses and such. And in the meantime, I can start to get this oil refinery built. But that is going to be it for now. Next episode, we need to make some more combat, because all this infrastructure, you can only do that for so long before you get an itchy trigger finger and you want to shoot things. So we are going to build the A10, a proper A10, with a nice 30mm rotary cannon, and we're going to shoot the absolute shit out of the cert base over here. And it is going to be delicious. And then because it's another one of these assert bases, this is exactly the same as the one that I shot up last time. It's got an underground component as well that we can go and investigate, get some more loot with our new looting and salvaging truck. It's all coming together. But that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting out there, fellow space engineers.